so far, what are your thoughts on how Jokic has played in these first two games?
Honestly, I think he's played extremely well.
Hmm.
I just think that with the Heat bringing Jokic to the perimeter helps their cause, which because I'd rather have Jokic on the perimeter hitting jump shots versus him in the paint.
Yeah.
like, like, I mean, he'll still kill you. He's a great shooter as well. I mean, he's not a fan. He's a pretty good shooter. You still have to respect his shot, basically.
Yep.
So, if he hits a three, he hits a long jumper, long 2-pointer. I mean, that's just you're gonna have to take that because you rather have that than him being in the paint because it's not just the amount of tension he gets in the paint. He pretty much can dominate any Heat player in the paint, but also his passing ability. So if he's getting doubled, he immediately knows who to pass to, and the Nuggets are full of shooters. You kick it to someone, and wide open three.
Yeah. Um, I agree with everything that you just said. Um, for me, I agree with you. He's been played amazing.
Yeah.
Like the first two games, amazing. If I were to nitpick, and this is a major nitpick, and it kind of goes back to what we're discussing at the beginning of the call, where the Heat in game two, their adjustment was, or one of the adjustments was whenever Murray and Bam had a pick and roll, they don't switch. They don't, sorry, whenever Murray and Jokic had a pick and roll, and Jimmy is guarding Murray and Bam is guarding Jokic, where the Heat, they don't switch that. They just have Jimmy guard Jokic on a switch. The one thing that did do this game is that not only did it force Jokic to be more perimeter oriented, but Jimmy was able to force Jokic into a few more turnovers because he had 5 turnovers this game. Um, and then the second nitpick, and this is like the biggest nitpick. So I openly admit that this is very, very minor. But before this season, the previous 2 or 3 seasons, Jokic had a really bad habit of complaining to the refs a lot. It's very similar to how Luka is this year.
Mm-hmm.
But then this year, for the most part, Jokic has been very calm. He moves on from the play if a play goes against him. I will say this is probably the first game that I've seen during these playoffs where Jokic is visibly frustrated and very animated towards the rest and towards his team because a lot of the lapses. So that's the only thing that I would say about Jokic is those two minor things. But again, super super minor, very very
I can't blame
nitpicky.
him. I mean, honestly,
Yeah,
like in game two, he was the only one like playing extremely, extremely well because Murray didn't have the best night. Um, I mean, he still had a solid game to be fair, but he only had 18 points, which is still a lot for.
yeah. But then
but
before the last few minutes of the fourth quarter, he only had 12 points, and he only made he was 5 for 16, or sorry, 5 for like 13. So I think he had two big threes towards the end of the game, but he basically Murray wasn't really able to help Jokic for most of the game.